Hey guys, it's Maymay, and you might have seen our newest scripture club release. This one is called His Name. I love this stamp set so much, and when we created it, we had something in mind for it that we're going to do today. I wanted this to work to become a 12 days of Christmas reading Advent, and I'll show you how it works. So Sylvia made for me an SVG to include with this guy that cuts out ornaments. Let me show you. You get these 3 shapes of ornaments. Aren't they adorable? These are free with the purchase of the stamp set, okay? And this is going to allow us to make a really cool reading Advent calendar. Not only do you get the SVG to cut these, but you also get this free PDF that are the pieces that we need to give us something to read every day for 12 days. We'll talk more about the PDF when it's time to use it, but to get all of these links, you just need to travel to the product page for this product and you can get them there. We'll link all that information below, but today I want to create for you that 12 days with what I had in mind. I think it's important before we get started that I show you how to cut these on your software. I'm going to show you using Cricut Design Space, but you can do these with anything you have that is that accepts an SVG. The process will be very similar, so we're going to show you that real quick. So once you have the SVGs downloaded from our website, you'll head to Cricut Design Space or to the software of the program that you're using. I just happen to use Cricut here, and you want to upload those images. Now, if you have never downloaded SVGs from us before, we have videos showing you how to do that, so we'll link those in the description below. I'm going to head to the top corner of my screen and hit New Project. And when I do that, it's going to open a blank screen. Now, what I want to do is I want to upload the images that I downloaded to my computer. So I'm going to click the word upload here in the corner. Now you'll see here it says upload a compatible file, and you can see that SVG is listed, so that's what we're going to upload. I'll click upload, and I'm going to browse my computer for the files. So you can see here the first 2 images in this section are what I'm looking for, and I'll have to bring them in one at a time, but I'm going to click on this first one and open it. Now, when you get to this next screen, this is pretty cool, okay? We're going to tell this, okay, this is the one we want, so I'm going to say continue. You can now, and when I say now, I don't spend a lot of time on Design Space as much as I used to, so this is kind of new for me. It may not be new, but you can name these whatever you would like, and I'm just going to name them His Name SVG. I can tag it if I want to, and I can also add them to a collection. Now, I can use this with my Joy. Today, I'm not going to be using my Joy, but I can. So I'm going to click this and save it into my Christmas Joy projects. And I'm going to say upload. So now I've loaded the SVG into Design Space and into a project. Do you see that this one is red? I have to tell you that we have corrected the SVG now, but at the time I was filming this, it was like this. And I thought, I'm going to leave this way so I can show you. If this ever happens for you, for any SVG, you'll know how to fix it. But if you're downloading the new SVG, you shouldn't have this issue. Okay, notice how there's a box around everything here. See over here to the right, it says group. That's because everything here is grouped together. I'm going to go right here to this little button, and I'm going to click ungroup. When I do you see that everything drops out? And you'll notice this is the snowflake, this is the ornament top, this is the ornament with the top and bottom, and this is the another ornament top. And then if you ungroup this one again, you'll see that we have more images grouped inside of here as well. Now here's the thing. Here's what I want you to do. I'm not going to ungroup anything, but I am going to choose this little guy. And first, I'm going to change his color to white, just so he matches everything else. He would still cut, but because he was a different color, he'd want to cut on a different page, and we didn't want that. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to click this snowflake. And if I told this to cut right now, all of these little pieces would run off and cut by themselves, and this base snowflake would cut separately, and they wouldn't cut where they are. But I want them to cut where they are. So I'm going to select him. I'm going to head right here to the right, and I'm going to click Attach. Now, when I go to use him, he will stay just like he is, and we can cut him just like that. What I like about not having the pieces attached when we get in here is it gives me some flexibility. If I don't want these little pieces on the ornament, I just can turn them off or contour them out and not have to use them. And this way, it gives me a little bit of flexibility. So select each one and then head down here and attach. Select this one, head down here and attach, and I'm going to do the same here. To the little piece at the top, let me grab him, there he is, and then to the other guy. This way everything cuts where it should. Okay, now when you're ready to cut, you do not have to resize this in any way. They are sized and ready to go. But you have opportunities here. These are just SVG ornament shapes. If you would like to cut these out and use them for something that doesn't coordinate with the stamp set, you certainly can. And you can change them to any size and any way you want. All right, let's click Make. This is something cool. This is new for me to Design Space. Remember, it's been a while since I've taught Design Space or even worked with it a whole lot. But this says your project will be saved. I love that it's automatically saving for me so I don't forget to. All right, so I'm going to click Save. And here I can name it and I can put it into a collection. Now we can get ready to cut. All right, so you can see everything is attached. So I'm going to cut like I want it to. Now I can decide how many I want. Now I'm going to be using this for my 12-day countdown, my little 12-day Advent. So I need to cut this 4 times. So I'm going to click up till it says 4 in that box, and then I'm going to apply. Now I should have 4 of each ornament, and it's across 3 different cutting mats. So pretty cool. So now we just need to cut these guys out. Okay, so I've already cut these out, and remember there were 2 SVGs for this one? Let me show you what the second one does. Okay, so this is the second SV, the open shapes here. What this is for is so when you're cutting out these images, you can layer them on top of each other, and you see that one layer is slightly larger than the other. That way, if you want to use a different color for the background versus the foreground, you can, and that's what I'm going to do today in my project. So now what I need to do is cut 12 of these guys in whatever colors I want them. So let's do that too. Okay, so these are my SVGs cut out. I did 4 of each one. I also did the backgrounds, but we'll get to those in a minute. What I want to do first with these guys is I want to ink the edges, and this is going to take me a minute because of how many I have to do, but I want to show you my plans for doing that. Typically, I would use cookie dough, but the reason I don't want to today, I find I have to work cookie dough a little harder or a little longer to get the color I want because it's so pale. It is beautiful, but it's so pale. What I'm going to do is use some vintage photo, and I'm going to put it onto my glass mat first, just right here, and then I'm just going to work my way around the edges. This color being darker will make me get my vintage edge quicker, will make it look inked faster than if I were doing with the cookie dough. I'd have to go over it 2 or 3 times with that. And I think just to save time, we're going to do it this way. The other thing about using my glass mat is I'm not going back into my ink as often because I'm picking it up off of the glass mat, and I'm still not getting kind of a muddy color. I don't want it to be muddy. I really want it to be soft and gentle. See that? That's what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do really quick, I say really quick, we'll see how long it takes. I'm going to run through and ink all these edges. Okay, so now we're going to be stamping on these guys, but here's what I've done. I've stacked these up like this: snowflake, then ornament, then bell. And the reason I've done that all the way through, if you keep going, it's the same pattern: snowflake, ornament, bell, snowflake, ornament, bell. I might want to turn these into a garland. I'm thinking they're going to be ornaments. I really want them to put them on my tree and just make them ornaments. But if they're a garland, I don't want to have like 2 ornaments next to each other, 2 bells next to each other. I want it to be one and then another. So I wanted to stack those up so that I could just pick them up and stamp. The next thing you want to do, if you're making this reading Advent, you want to look at your PDF, okay? Do you see how underneath the reading, Sylvia has put like number 1, wonderful, number 2, counselor, number 3, mighty God, and it goes all the way down. Notice that they're out of the way so we can cut those away later. But this is going to tell us what word we want to stamp first for our reading, okay? So I'm going to put this where I can see it. That means from our stamp set, I want to pull the word that coordinates to go first. So I'm going to pull the word wonderful. These are so pretty. And then I'm just going to place my snowflake in. Now here's the thing. I'm not too awful worried about lining it up super, super perfect or anything like that. I really just want to use my MISTI so that if I need to stamp this twice, I can. I probably won't need to, but if I need to, I can. And I'm going to put my word here. This font is so pretty. Let's pick that up. then we're going to ink. I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black. I think that'll be pretty and bold on the front here. So let's send that over. Let's use that impressible to press it down. And let's see if we need to do it again. I do. One thing about stamps, especially brand new, this is straight off the package for the first time. Sometimes you need to ink them a couple times to get them going. So that's why I wanted to make sure I put this on the MISTI so I could do this over and over. Beautiful. Okay, so that's the first word, wonderful. So I'll put that one aside. And now I'm going to pick up the ornament. Again, it's not so much about, I'm not doing this so much for placement, just to hold it still in case I need to do it twice. I want to show you this too. On our PDF, Sylvia put the scripture reference here, and on our stamp set, you have those scripture references throughout. So if on the front, which this is really, really pretty, say on that one that I just stamped that says wonderful. So if you wanted to, you could stamp a scripture reference here as well. I'm not going to because it'll be on the back with my PDF, so we'll be fine. So I'm just going to do the words. So for number 2, I need to do counselor. So I'm just going to go through and continue doing what I'm doing, stamping all of the words onto my ornaments. So I have them all stamped, and what I'm going to do now is go through and put some foam squares on the back because I want to pop them up off of the background piece. So let me do that. So I have foam on the back of everybody, and now I'm just going to stack these up. I know I stamped them the right way for them to become a garland, so it doesn't really matter if I keep up with them at this point. When I go to put them on a string, I can. I do think I'm just turning these all into ornaments, though. So let me show you what we cut for the background. So we just cut red and green background shapes, and so I'm just going to run through and stack these guys on top. I think I will do a red one first to start with, and you'll see here, you can layer them and you get that pretty layer. I think this is so pretty. I think these would be gorgeous as tags if you just wanted to make them as gift tags. Maybe do them as like a wall hanging. There's so many things you can do with this, and these SVGs make it perfect and easy. So there's one. I do believe too, if you use glitter back here, it would be incredible. And speaking of that, if you don't have an SVG and you'd like to see how to do this without, stick around. I'm going to show you how to do that too. So I'm going to run through and stick all these guys down. And there you go. Now we've got them all stacked up. Look how beautiful they are when they're stacked. They're so pretty. There's so many different colorways you could do. Can you imagine doing these in pinks and silvers and blue? Wouldn't that be pretty as well? All right, so the one thing I did do, I want to caution you on, you know how I kind of went, oh, I'm not going to keep up with what goes where. Well, I did end up having to do that because I do want these, if I need them to be a garland, I wanted to make sure I put the right colors with the right ones. And I did. They're not in order here, but I made sure of that. Okay, let me show you how I would tie a ribbon on or something to hang it with. Now, on your solid piece in the back, you can have Cricut cut a circle out of it. But for me, this is just as easy. I'm going to put this right inside of that little circle piece like this and just poke a hole in there so I can run some ribbon through after I throw it down. Didn't mean to do that. And I can run some ribbon through and just tie it. So that's what I'm going to do here. If you just want to do them on ribbon, this is perfect. I put my bead threader through to help me with this. This ribbon is organza and it's hard to see. I was having a hard time actually seeing it go through there. Look how beautiful this is. We just got this ribbon in. It's the thinner. Isn't that beautiful? I think that's going to be pretty here. I'm going to use this one to decide how long I want my pieces to be, and then I'm going to measure it to it. I want to have room to tie a knot. That's giving me a little more than I need. So I'm going to tie a knot at the top, and then we can decorate the ornament how we see fit. All right, that's about what I want, so let's cut that off. So before I tie it, I'm going to pull it out and let this be my guide for the rest of them. And what I typically do is just lay it down like that and give it a snip, and I need 12. So now we'll go back into that ornament after we've cut our 12 pieces of ribbon. And I'm just going to tie a knot at the top, just like so. You just want to give yourself room to hang this wherever you're going to hang it. If you're going to hang it on a tree, if you're going to put it on a gift, on a package or something like that. Another thing you can do, I'm going to trim this away, and you can turn the knot down if you don't want it to be at the top and just have it like that. Isn't that pretty? And have the knot at the back. And then we can do more decorating too. I love how simple that looks. It's pretty. All right, I'm going to tie all of them up really quick. But before, let me show you this. This guy, the way I did him, I wanted to put my little hole right through this top portion of the snowflake. I think that's the perfect place. But you can decide if you did yours a different orientation. You could always put the hole here if you needed to. Now I can run through and get them all done. As I'm tying, I wanted to show you these. These are some tiny bells from Tim Holtz. I think they're really cute. I think these might be cute to add onto our ornaments. I'm going to see about adding them as I go. There are 18 bells in here, and as I'm tying, I don't think I'm going to use that one. I don't want to put that on this one. They're shaped the same. I'm going to use the other shape. And I think this would be cool to kind of send this through as we're going and go ahead and tie it on. These little bells are going to take one of these guys. These are little threaders. They're kind of like dental threaders, but these are not made for the mouth. These are crafty ones. So if you want to pick some of these up, we have them, but you can also use a dental threader if you have them. And you can see here, you can feed this through and then put your ribbon in and then pull, and it will pull that ribbon through for you because it's very difficult to try to do that on your own. Then I'm going to turn my little bell around. Just put it there. So a little bell just for cutesy. There's so many things you can do. I won't put them on every one, but I think it'll be cute to have them on, you know, one or two here or there, and then especially the bell because it jingles. All right, let me finish them up. I put a bell on every other one, not every one. I just thought that would be kind of cute. You could do so much more. You could tie bows, hang something off of them. You could even poke a hole down here and hang something else off. That would be pretty, wouldn't it, to have like a tassel hanging off? But I want to show you before we go to the PDF another option in case you don't have a way to cut the SVGs. Let me show you. So the first way is if you have a die in the shape of an ornament, you could use that. But if you don't, if you just have some circle shapes, you can see here, I cut one out of glitter, and then I cut one out of white cardstock, and I thought it would be pretty if you did this, and then you just stamped the word onto the white, like one of the, like Everlasting Father, the same way we did with the ornament shape. Poke a hole, tie a ribbon, and you still get kind of the same thing, and you can still put your wording on the back. So if you don't have an SVG, don't worry, you can make an ornament just using regular dies in another way. All right, let's go to the PDF. Now, Sylvia designed these so that they can be 2 by 2 inches. This one is a little tight, but you can pretty much get them 2 by 2. What I'm going to do is cut this down just to get that bottom wording off. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When you're using your printer, there is a good chance that your paper will not be perfectly square, okay? Just like with mine here, it is not perfectly square. So I'm going to square it up, and then I will cut these guys out. One thing I would suggest is if you're going to put this onto the back of one, if you have white on the back, or if whatever color you cut your ornament, you print your ornaments on is the same let me show you one thing. You know, I did my ornaments in solid color, but if you did yours in white, if you put this down on the back, it will kind of blend in. But because mine are the solid colors, it's going to kind of show. So what I'm going to do is just cut them all out individually. I may even bubble cut around them because I think they might look better on the back, but we'll see. We'll play with that. One thing you want to do is remember which one goes to which word. So to help me remember, I'm just going to write the number on the back so I know which one it goes to. So some of these scriptures that we chose to use are kind of bonus, not in that they don't go, but some of the names of Jesus are found in the same verse. So we wanted to give you 12 verses. So we went ahead and gave you what we're calling kind of some bonus verses. They're not really bonus. They're just verses that discuss the name also. So you'll see that some of these verses kind of don't say exactly the word. I'll find one and show you what I mean. So some of these verses, this one in particular, Isaiah 9:6, has wonderful counselor, mighty God, everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace all in it. Because of that, and because we wanted to give you 12 days of reading, you'll see that we added some scripture. You won't just have this one on 4 different ornaments. You'll have a different scripture for every ornament. Now I'm just going to glue my scriptures onto the back of the coordinating ornament. This is your ornament scripture reading Advent for 12 days. Isn't this great? I would probably do this fancier back here. I'm under some time constraints to get the video for you guys, but I'd probably layer this or maybe ink this as well. I think that'd be beautiful. I just think this is so pretty. Another thing you could do is you could use the PDF scriptures that we provided. And if you're doing this in your Cricut software or your Silhouette software or any software that will let you write or print, you could write with markers or pens on the back of this, just using our scriptures as reference. So you can do this so many different ways, but I think this is really cool. Wouldn't this be a neat gift if you created it and then packaged it and gave it to someone so they could do their 12 days with this? I think it's so cool. Not to mention the stamp set in and of itself. This stamp set will be so helpful. There's so many things. As I was working on this and using the names of Jesus, I was thinking of other places I could use it, and I love it, and I think you will too. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did creating it. I also hope you love the free SVG and the PDF to make this project happen. To get that, you'll just purchase the stamp set, and those come free with it. We also have an SVG that will cut out the words for you. So if you would like to mount them maybe in a different way or maybe do another layer on top, you could do that as well. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And until next time, bye now.